Good evening, wherever you're watching from this evening. And of course, as I told you, we'll be coming back with a very special segment called The Ongo Show. Here is a show that daily, each and every time runs here at Mofo TV. But of course, for this evening, allow me to focus on the EPL transfer as I had promised you, because you find out there is a lot that is happening in the world of transfer. Of course, with the most loved league, the league ya Uingereza, mtazamaji wa Mofo TV. So wherever you're watching from, feel free to join me for the few minutes that we are going to be here. And of course, I will also be giving you updates about what is going to be expected in the semi-finals of the Club World Cup. Remember, it has been a tournament that has been going on for the last 1 month, if I'm not wrong. And of course, people will be waiting to see between Chelsea, and of course, Chelsea will be going to play against Fluminense from Brazil this evening as from 10 p.m. And of course, on the other side, we'll also be seeing our tomorrow, that is it, Real Madrid will be playing against the mighty PSG, who qualified after knocking out the Bayern Munich from Germany. Join me this evening and of course share the link. We are going to have all the discussion centered around the 20 teams or 18 teams or 17 teams from the EPL, but of course with a major focus on Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal. And on the other side also, we are going to have a very greater focus on Victor GYOKERES. Is he going to move to Arsenal, or is he going to manage to join Arsenal? And of course, all those will be here at Mofo TV. Remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed, and share the link. Welcome your friends. Tell them that the Ongo Show is here and running here courtesy of you, because you are watching. And of course, before I jump into all this the transfers, let me give you what you should expect this evening, of course, because we are going to have the first semi-final of the Club World Cup this evening. And Chelsea are single-handedly carrying the EPL, the English Premier League, in their own hands. They have maneuvered all the way from the stage group to the knockout stage, to the quarterfinals, and now to the semi-finals. And they are going to face Fluminense, a team that is captained by one and only Thiago Silva, who earlier on played for Chelsea, and after retiring, after of course having it all quit from the top leagues, he went back to Brazil, and then he joined his own Fluminense, a team that he had played before he kickstarted his Europe journey. And he's there. Tonight he's going to face his club. And I'm asking you, between Chelsea and Fluminense, who's going to win this game this evening? Kati ya Chelsea na Fluminense, ni nani anaenda kushinda mchezo huu jioni, mtazamaji? Tell me in the comment section. I'll be reading your comment and I'll be reading your prediction. And of course, the best person who's going to predict is going to get a gift hamper courtesy of the Ongo Show here at Mofo TV this evening, wherever you're watching from. So tell me, in between Chelsea and Fluminense, who's going to win? And of course, in studio, we are not partisan, but of course, we are just wishing, because a final a final might be good if you find out like Chelsea are there. Chelsea ikiwa kwenye finali, you know what it happens. It has ever happened in 2012, 2011, 2012, when they knocked out Bayern Munich to win the Champions League for the very first time. And of course, 2018, they knocked out Arsenal in Baku to win the Europa League. And of course, we knocked out Manchester City to win the second Champions League in the history of Chelsea. So tell me in the comment section, and of course, which transfer update do you want me to have a pin at, have a bigger look at, because I'm here because you are there this evening. And of course, tomorrow we'll be talking about that. But tell me, in matters preparation, of course, Chelsea are going to do without Levi Colwill, who is serving a 1-game ban because of a yellow card. And of course, Liam Delap is also going to be out for the same mistake of serving a yellow card that he got during the previous quarter-final game against Palmeiras. So Chelsea are going to miss out on those two players. But of course, good news, Caicedo is back. And we are going to see Dario Esugo is there as a backup. And Reece James, after he picked up an injury during the warm-up before a game against Palmeiras last time, or the previous couple of days ago, Reece James, the captain, is going also to be expected in the squad this evening. And of course, the rest of the squad is good, led by number one goalkeeper Toko for Roberto Sanchez. We expect Chelsea to have a good show this evening. Martinelli is going to be missed on the other side from Fluminense, and of course, Captain Maestro, captain himself, talk of Thiago Silva is expected to be there. Unlike other rumors have been telling us that Thiago Silva might not have an opportunity to play against his former club Chelsea this evening. Thiago Silva is there. He got a yellow card, yes, but it was a 1, and he's going to be expected in the starting lineup as Fluminense play against Chelsea this evening. So tell me in the comment section, which team do you expect, like Chelsea are going to, which team do you expect to qualify to the final of the Club World Cup for the very first time? Remember, this is the first tournament. It has been happening in USA, and of course, the weather has not been favoring to players who come from Europe. I'm talking this because teams like Botafogo, teams like Fluminense are teams that come from South America, and of course they're well adapted to the weather. High temperatures, of course, being experienced in the field. We've seen a good number of games being halted, and of course having a water breaker. And we are going to see the same this evening, as teams will be expected to play regardless of the weather. Remember, a game against Chelsea against Benfica, it had to be postponed for around 2 hours because of the weather adversities. And after that, Chelsea came in, they remained focused, and of course, who did it? Chelsea won the game on extra time. So tell me in the comment section, wherever you're watching from, tag along your friend, and of course, I'm going to give you the 17 teams, EPL teams, all of them. We're not just going to focus on the bigger teams. We are going to focus on every team that is there and that participates in the English Premier League, because it's the most loved league in the world. And parts of maybe other world talk of America, and of course wherever the football fans are. So remember, tell me in the comment section, Chelsea against Fluminense, who is going to make it to the final of the Club World Cup this evening. And of course, just also a reminder, all the teams that have reached here, and of course, all the teams that participated have been getting some good amount of money since the first game that happened in the group stages until the games that are on for the semi-finals and of course the final. So there's a good cash amount of cash that is being awarded to each and every stage. Those who qualified from the group stages moved on to the knockout stages, moved on to the quarterfinals, and of course those who are here at the semi-finals. Remember, Chelsea have bagged 61 million pound. 61 million pound. Ni wewe ufanye hesabu uniambie hiyo ni pesa gani ngapi ya Kenya. And of course Real Madrid have already bagged 64 million pounds. So wewe piga mahesabu yako uniambie kwamba how much is that amount this evening. And of course I will start with just pick some teams randomly. Will not maybe look it out like who's here and who's there. I will tell you players that the team has released, and I will tell you players that the team has already confirmed signing. Let us start with the Wolverhampton Wanderers. Of course, when I look at these Wolverhampton Wanderers, players that have gotten out and players that have signed for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We are having Pablo Sarabia was a very useful player last season. I don't know why Wolverhampton decided to let him go, but he was a very instrumental. He was a very good player last season for Wolverhampton. They have released him, and he has joined Al Arabi. This is an Asian team. Remember, the Asian team are really attractive to the players from Europe, because many of them, they know that when they go there, they're going to get a good amount of money. And the other side, Matis Cunha, who joined Manchester United, also left Wolverhampton Wanderers on a good amount of mula mtuangu. He joined Manchester United, and of course at Manchester there are rumors that he'll be given it's official, of course there are no rumors, he'll be given a shirt number 10 that was initially weared or taken or used by Marcus Rashford. I don't know what's up for Marcus Rashford, but we'll see about that. So Matis Cunha left Wolverhampton and joined Manchester United. On the other side, of course, we are having Craig Dawson, who was released from the squad, and of course they're just trying to shape up their squad. That is Wolverhampton Wanderers, who managed to survive. They did not survive, of course. They finished against ahead of Manchester United, ahead of Tottenham, and ahead of good bigger teams. Talk of them in the position 12, I guess, if I'm not wrong. On the other side, we had Carlos Forbes, whose loan ended at Ajax, and of course, he went. He's an Ajax player, so he went back to Ajax. That is Carlos Forbes, and of course, Marty Washington, who was released from the squad. That is from Wolverhampton, of course, and of course, we have Hugo Bueno, whose loan from Feyenoord ended, and he came back to Wolverhampton to continue fighting for his number there. Far Lopez, whose transfer to Celta Vigo happened, and of course, he's a new player at Wolverhampton. Cam Campbell, I don't know if you know much about him, but I think he's a youngster. Of course, Cam Campbell, whose transfer to Stevenage happened, and of course, he is a Stevenage player. Any player or Stevenage, I don't know how you say about that. And then, of course, Tommy Doyle, whose loan to Birmingham ended, of course, and he came back to Wolverhampton. That is it for Wolverhampton. Those are already confirmed players who have moved out or moved in for the sake of Wolverhampton. And of course, the next team we are going to handle is West Ham United. West Ham, they were almost being relegated last season. They got changed from the owner, and then they brought in Potter, who is a former Chelsea coach. He did some wonders, of course, getting a win against Manchester United, and of course, securing a place to remain in the Premier League. So they're also trying to shape up their squad before the 2025-2026 season starts. And of course, they have acquired some new players already confirmed. And of course, there are rumors of the players they are up to. And of course, there are those ones there who are going to be released or sold from West Ham. And number one is Aaron Criswell, who was released from the squad, of course. And then Lucas Fabianski, former Arsenal goalkeeper, who was also released from the squad as they are trying just to shape up the squad, of course. And Vladimir Kufo, who was also released. Kufo has been a very instrumental player for the longest time akicheza pale West Ham, and we are waiting to see which team he will be playing for next season. And of course, we have Danny Ings. Chelsea fans know him. Danny Ings, who was released from the squad from West Ham, of course. And of course, Kamarai Swa, as I can read it here. Kamarai Swa, who was also released from West Ham, and he joined Nottingham Forest. Released from West Ham United and then joined Nottingham Forest. Carlos Sola, whose loan ended at PSG, and then he came back at West Ham, of course. And of course, Kat Zuma, who was released after he had played for Al Oraba in Asia, of course. Remember, Kat Zuma, formerly a Chelsea player, joined them, played for 2 seasons. Of course, he was released to join an Asian team to continue having his professional football. Brad Dollagan, who was released from the squad, and of course, Daniel Cummings, who was transferred to Celtic, happened. And of course, he is a new West Ham player. So those who have been bought, of course, is just Jean-Claire Todibo, was bought from OG Nice, that is from France, of course. And of course, we're having Daniel Cummings, who was bought from Celtic. So that is it for West Ham. Hao ndo maplayer wenye West Ham wamenunua na wenye players wenye West Ham wameachilia mtazamaji. So to the next team, of course, we are having Tottenham Hotspur. Remember, these are the Europa League winners. They managed to win this trophy after 17 years of seeing no any trophy. They managed to win this. And of course, where does shame goes? They say shame goes to Arsenal. For all those years, they've never managed to win a European trophy. Just gambling with FA, gambling with the Premier League, gambling with the Carabao, and of course, gambling with the Community Shield. That hasn't earned them enough respect to be respected when it comes to London issues or London debate, let me say. Tottenham Hotspur, of course, after getting rid of their coach Ange Postecoglou, Daniel Levy, I believe now he's trying to put in some little amount of money to make sure that they're getting the best players. Remember, last season they finished at a very bad position number 16. It is not a position that anyone who could imagine of Tottenham under Harry Kane, Mauricio Pochettino, and those prime players, the talk of Gareth Bale before they left, would want to imagine Tottenham finished position 16. despite the fact that they won the Europa League, is not a good number for the Londoners. So Tottenham, they've gotten rid of other players. Talk over Lucas Fabianski, who they've not gotten rid of. Okay, look, they have acquired and they have let some players go. Lucas Fabianski, who joins them, of course, as a second goalkeeper, I believe, will be joining. Not Lucas Fabianski, sorry, but it is Lukas Vuskovic, who joins them from Haji Split, will be joining in as the second goalkeeper, of course. And of course, we have Fraser Foster, who was released from the squad, and Sergio Reguilon has also been released from the squad. And on the other side, Alfie Whiteman has also been released from the squad. Timo Werner, end of the loan, and is expected to head back to RB Leipzig to go and find his position back there after helping them winning the Europa League. After 17 years of winning no any trophy, Tottenham head to loan in some players. Talk of Timo Werner, who is a Champions League player, a win, of course, with Chelsea back then in 2020-2021. So they have returned him back at RB Leipzig. And of course, Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg will also likely, or he has already signed for Marseille. Højbjerg is a very good player. He was a part and parcel of the journey that led Tottenham to winning the Europa League. Kevin Danso, who's a transfer in from RC Lens, has joined Tottenham, of course, and Marty Stell, whose transfer has happened successfully, is going to remain there from Bayern Munich. He is going to remain at Tottenham from Bayern Munich after 6 months loan. Tottenham have already submitted a deal to remain with Mattis Tell. Of course, Damola Ajayi, who is loan at Doncaster Rovers, has started, of course. And of course, Max Fadden, who is also a transfer in, has been bought from Leeds United. Leeds United is a team that participates in League One tire. And of course, Kota. Remember, Tottenham has Son Heung-min Son, and right now they have just managed to get Kota Takai from Kawasaki Frontale. This is another South Korean player who's joining them. And of course, we expect him to have a good season. Alejo Vielis, who's loaned at Rosario Central, has also gotten over. So the new player that Tottenham has bought is Kota Takai from Kawasaki Frontale. And of course, Mark Fedden from Leeds, of course. And Marty Stell, who has successfully managed to remain at London Stadium after 6 months loan. He's going to remain there from Bayern Munich, of course. And Kevin Danso, who is also joining Tottenham from RC Lens. And of course, Lukas Vuskovic, a goalkeeper, who joins them from Hajduk Split. That is it for Tottenham, who I've already told you they are the current Europa League winners. And I don't know how that statement sounds to Arsenal. Tell me in the comment section if you're watching this evening. Where are you watching from? Unaangalia kipindi ukiwa na nani? And whom do you expect to win tonight's game against each other, as Chelsea will be facing Brazilian side Fluminense? Ni nani ambaye labda ungependa aweze kuwa anashinda mchezo wa leo, mtazamaji? Brian Ambunya says Waingo. Thank you very much, Brian Ambunya. Najua unaangalia na labda Chelsea na Fluminense. Ni nani ambaye atakuwa anafanya kweli jioni hii leo kuanzia Sunday? That is why the Ongo show is coming to you a bit earlier, so that we can have enough time to enjoy the game. And of course, who knows, we might bring you the game live on our Facebook page at Mofo TV. If you're new here, consider subscribing and let us keep together as the family of Mofo TV. Mtazamaji. Now to the next team, of course, we are having Sunderland, who are promoted to the league, and they are going to shape their squad, they are going to shape their team to make sure that they are having it well to participate. Remember, this is a team that the last time I watched Sunderland, they were having some good players. Talk of Asamoah Gyan, talk of Louis Catamol. You know, there are some of the good players that managed to give Chelsea a hard time during that time. I don't know if it's 2016, 2014, 2015 there, but before they went for relegation, it was a good performing team. And this time, they have been promoted to the league, and they are going to give us a good show as of 2025, 2026. Players that they have gotten rid, and the players that they have managed to buy. Tammy Watson, of course, is has already managed his transfer to Brighton, of course. Tammy Watson has moved on to join Brighton. And, of course, Enzo Lifi, who has joined them from Rome, of course, as they prepare to face the big giants of EPL. Habib Diarra, who's joining them from Strasbourg, of course, and of course, Job Bellingham, who managed to have his way out joining Dortmund. Remember, this is a brother to Jude Bellingham, and of course, after helping Sunderland to be promoted to the Liga, he is joining Dortmund, where his elder brother Jude Bellingham was before joining Real Madrid. So Job Bellingham has already played even for Borussia Dortmund in the Club World Cup that is ongoing in the United States of America. And of course, Noah Sadiki, who joins them from Union Saint-Gilloise, of course, is joining them from Union Saint-Gilloise. And Nathan Bishop, who joined Wimbledon from Sunderland, of course, he's out to join Wimbledon. Adil Auchiche, who was loaned out at Aberdeen, and of course Renato Mandova, who was transferred in. I don't know which team they have managed to get him from. We're yet to confirm that. And the next team is, of course, Nottingham Forest. Remember, this is a team that has given us very hard time last season. They have managed to be in the top 4 until the last days of the EPL, when the real team talk of Chelsea, talk of Arsenal, talk of Manchester City, and of course Liverpool really had to work hard to make sure that Nottingham Forest are not having that spot in the top 4. Remember, if they could have made their way into the top 4, either of Chelsea, who knows, Manchester City would be serving a number 5, because Tottenham automatically qualified for Champions League, having won the Europa League. So Nottingham Forest, of course, they are having some good players that they will be walking away, and of course they are also busy on the market attracting and signing new players. Remember, these are not rumors; these are already confirmed, registered players that this team, these top league, of course, clubs have already managed to sign them. So these are not rumors. I'll be going through rumors later on, but these are already confirmed players. For Nottingham Forest, of course, we are having Jack Perkins, who joined Northampton Town, of course. Jack Perkins, who joined Northampton, and of course we're having Harry Tofalo, who was released from the squad, of course. And on the other side, we're also having Alex Moreno, whose loan ended, and of course he went back to his mother club, that is Aston Villa. And of course we're also having Tyler Beaton, who was joined to Sheffield United. And on the other side, Igor Jesus, who joined them from Botafogo. I think hiyo wameona tu pale Club World Cup, wakaona vile kijana anajituma. Remember, I've been watching this Club World Cup, and club from South America, talk of Brazil, they are playing a very high speed because they have well adapted to that climate. Of course, they are not much affected by that high temperatures, and they have been giving us a good show. But to other teams like Chelsea, they managed to kick some of them out. And tonight, Fluminense is going to play against Chelsea. What do you expect? Tell me in the comment section. And of course, after signing Igor Jesus from Botafogo, they also managed to transfer or to buy Sheriff Yaya. Okay, Sheriff Yaya, I don't know. He was bought from Rio Ave. So that is it for Nottingham Forest. Remember, these are not rumors, these are already signed players. But on the other side, I'll also be giving you some of the little rumors that are trending out there, including Victor Gyökeres. For Newcastle United, they're not that much busy, because you remember having won a trophy, the talk of Carabao Cup. Of course, after a long time of wait, they're also not just busy, because we have not seen the likes of bigger players, GYOKERES, like for that sake, having those clubs that are eyeing for him. Talk of Alexander Isak, who has been on the eye, on the watch, of course, from Chelsea, Arsenal, and other bigger clubs. They are likely going to be maintained by Newcastle, so they're not that much busy. But of course, who who doesn't want to sign? Each and every team wants to shape their squad as they prepare for 2025-2026 season. That is it. So Antonio Cordero joins them from Malaga, of course, has already joined Newcastle from Malaga, of course, and Jamal Lewis was released from the squad, and of course Lloyd Kelly was also released and joined Juventus. So that is it. Only two players leaving and one being signed from Malaga. That is Antonio Cordero, who joins them from the Spanish Liga. And now to the greater Manchester United. Of course, everybody wants to hear who's joining Manchester and who's leaving Manchester. There are a number of players who are likely to leave, those on the other side of rumors. But this one I'm going to give you, these are the confirmed one. These are not rumors. These are the real deal for Manchester United. And to begin with, Christian Eriksen, after his time at Manchester, got over. He's been released by the team. He was given a farewell in the last game, in his last game, and of course he will not be the part and parcel of Manchester United come 2025-2026. And of course Johnny Evans was also released after a long-serving, he was a long-serving defender at Manchester United. He was also released, and of course I think he's now in his retirement, having been offered a task, a certain assignment or duties at Manchester United. Johnny Evans alifika mwisho mazee after serving for 11 years, of course, because he's a player we've had in the EPL for the longest time, and being associated to Manchester, time yake imeisha, and he will not be part of and parcel of Manchester United. Victor Lindelof has also been released by Manchester United and will not be part and parcel of Amorim come 2025-2026. And of course, Matis Kuna being signed from Wolverhampton will be part and parcel. Of course, he has been given jersey number 10 or shirt number 10, and is expected to deliver at Manchester United at Old Trafford, having made his transfer from Wolverhampton. What do you expect from Matis Kuna come next season? Because wearing a jersey number 10 for Manchester United means a lot. He has to remind us of the legends, talk of Wayne Rooney and other legends who wore that shirt number 10 in the history of Manchester United. He's a Brazilian, and of course he's not the first Brazilian player to play for Manchester United. They have had a good number of players currently enjoying the services of one and only Casemiro from Brazil, but the likes of Kina Anderson have also played at Manchester United and they have delivered. So he's the next Brazilian joining Manchester United from Wolverhampton. Diego Leon, who has been bought from Cerro Porteño. Najua wengi hawamjui huyu, lakini I believe he's a good player joining Manchester from Cerro Porteño. He's going to be of help to Manchester United. And of course, the next team that has been very busy, very busy in the EPL transfer market is none other than Manchester City, who are very busy to make sure that they are shaping. After 6 years, they have managed to walk. They didn't manage, but they walked out of the 4 or 5 trophies without carrying one. For the very first time since Pep took over, they're walking without any trophies. And the latest competition they have been kicked out is the Club World Cup, being kicked out of it. So I don't know, if you're a Manchester City supporter, how are you feeling and what do you expect of the next season, 2025-2026? So to this one, Kevin De Bruyne was his time at Manchester City got kaput. Ameondoka, ameingia Napoli. He will be a new Napoli player as of 2025-2026. And of course, looking on the other side, Jacob Wright, who's a transfer of joining Norwich City. He's successful. Of course, he will not be part and parcel of Pep Guardiola. And of course, Scott Carson has been released by Manchester City, and Ryan Ait-Nour, who joins Manchester City from Wolverhampton. I believe this is a youngster, of course. And Marcus Martinelli from Chelsea. This is a third goalkeeper from Chelsea who joins Manchester City as a help to their second goalkeeping option. So Marcus Martinelli, with all that experience, he will be joining. He has already joined Manchester City. Atakuwa anasaidia Ederson Moraes pale kwenye michuma as of 2025-2026. On the other side, Ryan Shaki, who joined them from Lyon, having made a huge tears when they were kicked out of the Club World Cup courtesy of Al Hilal. Lilia sana ni kama anajua Manchester City has already joined them, has already participated in the Club World Cup, and of course you're waiting to see which kind of magic can he offer when it comes to the full season of 2025-2026 in the English Premier League. And of course Tijan Reinders joined them of course from AC Milan. We will be also expecting, remember Tijan Reinders amekuwa player mzuri sana pale AC Milan, amekuwa kiperform vizuri sana. He's he's gelling with the likes of Christian Pulisic, and of course Leo imekuwa very of help to AC Milan, despite the fact that they have not managed to finish in a good position. But Tijan Reinders joined Manchester City from AC Milan, and we expect to see the kind of magic he will also be giving us in the 2025-2026. Keke joined Bahia from Manchester City. This is a youngster, of course, and Kyle Walker joined Burnley after his loan at AC Milan got to an end. Amerudi pale Manchester City, and he has joined Burnley. To Manchester City fans, tell me what's not happening with Kyle Walker, because he has been a very instrumental player. He has been a key player to Manchester City in the season. Manchester City have been winning all these trophies. Kyle Walker, you can't render him out, you can't count him out, because alitoka Tottenham akaingia huko. For all that time amekuwa huko for around 10 years. Of course amekuwa a very crucial player to Manchester City. I don't know if there is something that is happening, but what I know about Kyle Walker, he had some issues here and there, him together with his wife, and of course mambo ya bibi huko England inaleta shida, inaleta baresha. So akaingia pale AC Milan. Sasa aliingia pale AC Milan, his wife of course aliona niaje, my man is moving to AC Milan. He hold like alisimamisha ile kesi ilikuwa inaendelea kwa koti. Akasema hii kesi inaendelea hapa kwa koti about divorce him, her of course, and Kyle Walker isimamishwe kidogo. So from there akaondokea akaingia pale Milan. So his loan is over, and then he came back to Manchester City, and now he is successfully been bought by Burnley, and he will be a Burnley player come 2025-2026. He has already signed a 2-year contract at Burnley. Divan Mubama who joined Stoke City. Stoke City is the one team that those team who has poor defense can remember it back then in the years. And now to the next team, of course, the team that has been very busy, and of course the English Premier League winners, that is Liverpool. Of course, they have also managed to get rid of some players and signing good players to help them maintain the high standards. Remember, Ancelotti took over from Jurgen Klopp, and many expected his downfall. He has surpassed our expectation, of course, winning the Premier League, and he's trying also to shape his squad to remain healthy to compete when it comes to 2025-2026. So Liverpool, Yogi Mamadishvili, African players have some hard name. Yogi Mamadishvili, whose transfer from Valencia is successful. Of course, he is now a Liverpool defender or a Liverpool player. And of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is currently playing for Real Madrid in the Club World Cup, managed to get out ameingia pale Real Madrid, and of course he's trying to cope up with the rest of the team, and he's not performing that bad. Having watched his or 2-3 games, anaendelea kukopa vizuri, joining the greatest team in the world, they say, that is Real Madrid. And of course Jeremy Frimpong, who joined them from Bayer Leverkusen, a very lethal wing back, and will be very key to them participating in the different competition, talk of Champions League, talk of FA, talk of Premier League when it comes to 2025-2026. And of course we expect much from him, having had a good spell at Bayer Leverkusen, and of course being having been amongst the top players, the top quality players who managed to win the Bundesliga without losing a single game under Xavi Alonso. And of course on the other side, you're having Comin Keller. Of course, these are second goalkeeper to their first option, who joined Brentford, and he will be a Brentford goalkeeper. Keller has been very instrumental to Liverpool, a key option in goalkeeping side, akiwa amewasaidia pakubwa tu sana. Dominic Cons, who was released from the team, joined the New York Saints. And of course Jakub Oyazinki, who was released from the squad, of course, and of course Amin Pessi Pessi amejoin Liverpool from Puskas Academy. Puskas Academy. He has joined Liverpool. And of course, Vyacheslav Joras, who was loaned at Ajax. And of course, Florian Wirtz, having made history at Bayer Leverkusen. Florian Wirtz alijoin Liverpool, and we expect to see some good number of responses from him when the season starts. So tutakuwa tuangalia like atakuwa anaperform aje, because ukiangalia vizuri he is expected, having been bought with 150 million pounds is not a little amount of money. So tuna expect like atatumika vizuri in his natural position, and he will be giving Liverpool the result that they want. So tell me in the comment section, share, karibisha wendako mazee. If you're watching, let me know where you are watching from, and of course, what do you expect between Chelsea and Fluminense this evening? Tell me in the comment section, unatakia nani ushindi? Anaitwa Edwin Kijana anasema, following up the show, the situation of Victor Gyökeres, the situation of Victor Gyökeres coming to Arsenal, to me, he will not shine, since Arsenal has players like Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka, of course, their key player, and of course Martinelli, etc. To me, he will not achieve. That is it. Edwin Kijana, asante sana popote unatizama. He says like Gyökeres to Arsenal is likely to be a flop. What do you think? I'm yet there to talk about Arsenal, and we expect to see what will he be delivering when it comes to 2025-2026. And of course, if at all that's a rumor, it has not been confirmed. If at all the transfer will happen, what do you expect from Victor Gyökeres? So Liverpool, nilikuwa nimefika hapo kwa Florian Wirtz, of course, and watakuwa wana expect like watakuwa wanampata, of course, and washampata, si watakuwa wana expect, they've already gotten him. And of course, Nathaniel Phillips, who made his way out from Liverpool, has already signed for West Brom Albion. And of course, Harvey Davies was loaned out Crawley, has been loaned out at Crawley United. Milos Kakis joins them from Bournemouth, of course, and of course, Freddie Woodman joins them from Preston North End. Jarell Quansah has been his transfer to Bayer Leverkusen has happened successfully. Quansah is a good midfielder, but I think because of the midfield competition, he has not managed to get quality time. He joins Bayer Leverkusen, where they got Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong previously, and that they have already signed for them. Leeds United, remember, these are also a team that has been promoted to the league, and we will be expecting a good number of a good number of players joining and of course leaving. Just kwa haraka they have managed to get Yusuha Guavogoli was been released. They have released a player, maybe like they just don't have his defensive place, because he is a defender. Yo Rothwell, who's loaned out at Bournemouth, of course, ametoka, he joins Bournemouth on loan. And of course, Manu Solomon, who's loaned out at Spurs, has been loaned out at Spurs, of course. And Lucas Nimeka, who's transferred from Wolfsburg, happened successfully, and he is a Leeds United player. And of course, Sebastian Bano has already joined them from Wolfsburg. Of course, Joe Snowdown has been released by Sweden, and he has released to join Sweden, and he's no longer a Leeds United player. Jaka Bijoli, who's transferred to Udinese from Udinese, of course, happened successfully, and he's a Leeds United player. Junior Fapo has been released by Leeds United. And of course, Max Wober has been loaned out to Werder Bremen. Max McFadden has been released and joined Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, Gabriel Goodmanson joins them from Lille. So that is it from Leeds United, who are promoted to the Premier League just the ended season. Fulham are also making one or two preparation for the 2025-2026. And remember, being a middle tier team, they're not just left behind. They have managed to release some good number of players, and I think they have not managed to buy any player, because they have released the likes of Carlos Vinicius, who has been released, of course, and I believe he's going to get a club in the Asian Premier League, of course. Willian has also been released from his 6-month loan. Remember, he joined them in January, but his 6-month loan has ended, and he's not going to be maintained by Fulham. Lucas Ashby Hamad has also been released by Fulham, of course, and Callum Houseman has been released to join and has already joined Celtic from Scotland. Marty Dibley Diaz has also been loaned to Chesterfield. Fulham has not managed to sign or to register a single player, but they have released a multiple number of players. Everton, who managed also to remain in the Premier League after having a tough season, they have also managed to sign one player, but released a good number of players as they prepare to keep fit when it comes to 2024-2025. Among the players who have been released by Everton, of course, is Ashley Young. Of course, his age is not maybe that much giving and promising to be relied in the future. Of course, being a former Manchester United, joined the Italian side and then came back to Everton. His time is up for Everton. He has been released. That is Ashley Young, of course. And of course, Asmir Begovic, former Chelsea goalkeeper, has also been released by Everton. Joao Virginia has also been released from the Everton squad. Abdoulaye Doucouré has also been released. I don't know why Everton are releasing such good player, but I believe he'll be getting a new home soon and sooner. Jack Harrison has also joined Leeds after the end of his loan from Jack Harrison, of course, joins Leeds from Everton. Jack Harrison is an Everton player, but has joined Leeds United on loan. And of course, Jasper Lindstrom joins Napoli on loan, of course. Armando Broja, his 6-month loan from Chelsea is over. Alikuwa na injury maze when the league started, and after 6 months, he came back. He did not find a place in Chelsea's team, first 11, and he joined Everton, but his 6-month loan spell at Everton is over, and he's expected to come back at Chelsea and try to find a new home, or if he will be retained, but he's unlikely to be retained by Chelsea, of course. And Charlie Alcaraz, who's transferred to from Flamengo, has happened successfully. I believe Omimona too during this Club World Cup. Remember, Flamengo ilipiga Chelsea 3-1. And they really made a lot of noise, not knowing that they will not make it to the highest stage of Club World Cup. So Charlie Alcaraz joins Everton from Flamengo. That is a Brazilian team, South American team, of course. And Mason Hulgate has been also released by Everton. And Neil Mope has also been released from the Everton squad. So Everton have managed to get one player from Flamengo, but they have released a good number of players as they try to shape up for the new season, that is 2024-2025. Crystal Palace, of course, these are the FA Cup winners. Remember, last season we saw different clubs for the very first time, or after a long time of winning nothing, coming on and winning trophies. Talk of Tottenham, talk of Crystal Palace, the FA Cup winners, talk of Newcastle, and of course talk of Chelsea winning complete UEFA trophies by winning Conference League. Crystal Palace, the FA Cup winners, of course, they have released a good number of players, and they've managed to get one player. These are already signed players. These are not rumors, but rumors are there until the players are confirmed. So Yoel Ward has been released from the Crystal Palace squad. Jeffrey Schlupp has also been released and joined Celtic successfully. And Louis Molden has also been released by Crystal Palace. Now may join Norwich, of course, and Walter Benitez has joined PSV Eindhoven has joined Crystal Palace, from PSV Eindhoven. That is Walter Benitez, who joins Crystal Palace from PSV Eindhoven. That is a team that participates in Netherlands or Eredivisie League. And of course, Owen Goodman has been loaned to Huddersfield. That is Owen Goodman. He will not be part and parcel for the 6 months or 1 year of Crystal Palace. So those are a number of players that have been released from Crystal Palace, but they've managed to get one player from PSV Eindhoven, that is Walter Benitez. And move on to the next one. And it is none other than Chelsea. Remember, these are very busiest team when it comes to transfer market since Todd Boyle and Clear Lake family took over. They have been very busy trying to build different projects, of course, since they took over from the former boss. And it has been successful to other players, and it has not been successful to other players who have been bought and loaned out without even playing for Chelsea. So as heavy spenders, huge amount of money has been poured out on the transfer market, and of course they are getting the best players, assembling the best players. Remember, they managed to win the Conference Cup or the Conference League, and they become a complete team, winning every UEFA trophy available. So Chelsea are very busy, and of course they are getting new players, and of course other good number of players are also expected to get out of the Chelsea squad. To begin with, Chelsea, they managed to get Dario Esugo, who is a good second option for Moise Caicedo. He joined them from Sporting CP. Of course, he's a good midfielder, of course, a defensive midfielder. Estevao Willian has now officially joined Chelsea from Palmeiras. Remember, he is and he was bought 1 year prior to his transfer. Alinunuliwa before aingie pale Chelsea, of course. And Bashir Humphries, whose transfer to Burnley is successful and will not be a part and parcel of Chelsea. And of course, Liam Delap joined Chelsea from Ipswich Town. Remember, he was the highest goal scorer for Ipswich last season, of course. And Mamadou Sarr joined Chelsea from RC Strasbourg. Mamadou Sarr is a good defender, of course, and we expect to see what he has to offer next season, of course. And on the other side, Chelsea have also managed to give Manchester City a helping hand by giving them a second goalkeeping option. That is Marcus Martinelli, who joined Manchester City. Remember, he has been at Chelsea for previous 2-3 seasons, and then he's been a third goalkeeping option, but he has joined Manchester City successfully, and he will not be part and parcel. Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is also a good goalkeeper. I think he's the most, not I think, but he's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world of football, having been bought from Spain, Spanish Liga, 75 million pounds. He came at Chelsea, a Champions League winner, Club World Cup winner. He joins Arsenal, having spent the previous 1 year at Bournemouth. He's now an Arsenal player or goalkeeper. Watakuwa wanapigania nafasi ye na yule jamaa wao ambayo wamemsifu sana. Joao Pedro joins Chelsea from Brighton. Remember, Brighton has been a good partner with Chelsea. The likes of Marcus Cucurella, Moise Caicedo, and of course Porter. They are some of the latest signees from Brighton, and of course the latest one is Joao Pedro, who joins Chelsea from Brighton, of course. And of course Jimmy Gittens, Jimmy Gittens, who joined Chelsea from Borussia Dortmund, is a high-speed winger, and we expect different defenders, Toko Diego Dalot, to have a tough time when they will be encountering the likes of Jimmy Gittens, who joined Chelsea from Borussia Dortmund. Those are already confirmed, signed, and some of them have taken part in the Club World Cup. A real message that they are Chelsea player, they are already signed. These are not rumors, remember. And now we move on to the next team, of course, the busiest team in the transfer, that is Burnley, having been promoted from the league. Remember, Leeds United, Sunderland, and Burnley are the three teams that were promoted to the Premier League, and of course they are busy reshaping their squad to be able to face the big giants, and Burnley are not left out. Bashir Humphries, who joined them from Chelsea, of course. He joined them from Chelsea, of course. He's a good midfielder, of course. Jadon Anthony joined them from Bournemouth, of course. And Marcus Edwards joined them from Sporting CP, that is from Portugal. And of course, Zian Fleming joined them from Millwall, of course, and they have gotten rid, or they have released good players, a good number of players. Talk of Nathan Redmond, who was released from the squad. He will not be part and parcel of Burnley when it comes to 2025-2026, of course, and Yeremy Sarmiento, whose loan at Burnley got to an end and is going back to his mother club, that is Brighton. Jonjo Shelvey has also been released from Burnley. This is a long-serving player, and of course he has been serving at Burnley for the longest time. Jonjo Shelvey, mzee wa kipara, he will not be part and parcel of Burnley. CJ Egandrele has also been released from Burnley and will be joining Marseille. Max Weiss has also made his way to Burnley squad from Calciuras. Najua hiyo timu bado wengi hatujasikia sana. So he will be part and parcel of Burnley. They have also managed to get one player from Ipswich, that is Axel Twanzembe, former United and Manchester United player. Axel Twanzembe will be part and parcel of Burnley come 2025-2026, sorry. And then Lom Chona, of course, joins them from Lazio. And Kyle Walker, of course, on a 2-year deal, will be joining them from Manchester City. Andreas Hauntajo will also be has been loaned out at St. Pauli, a team that has been participating in the Bundesliga. We move on. Kasi ni mbio mbio, manake remember at 10 p.m. we're having Chelsea playing against Fluminense, and I've asked you, which team are you seeing making the first step to the Club World Cup final? Remember, is an English side, Chelsea, facing Fluminense from Brazil, and that is a South American issue facing a United Kingdom issue. So tell me in the comment section ni nani ambaye atakuwa anakuwa kwanza kuingia kwenye finali ya Club World Cup. Brighton and Hove Albion are also very busy in the market trying to shape their squad and making sure that they are going to be on the competition side when it comes to 2025-2026. And of course, Tammy Watson has joined them from Sunderland, of course, and he will be he's a new player for Brighton and Hove. And of course, Yoon Do-young has joined them from Dion Hana Citizen, and he will be a new Brighton player. Remember, Brighton have some good scouting, because we look at the quality of the players they are having. They are promising players. You know, they have managed to sell Marcus Cucurella, they have managed to sell Moise Caicedo, they have managed to sell Ayo Pedro, but they are still having good yani wale scouts wanafanyia Brighton kazi, they are the quality one, I can say, because they have managed to build, and they are still stable. They are very, very still stable, only waiting to beat Manchester United, amongst other big teams. So Yoon Do-young will be joining them, of course, has already joined them, of course, and of course Chalampos Kostulas joined them from Olympiacos, of course. He is a new Brighton player. Diego Copla joins them from Verona. He is a new Brighton player. Niels Roaming joins them from Eintracht Frankfurt, of course. He is a new Brighton player, and they have released a good number of players and loaned out some, including Niels, of course, James Biddle, who has been loaned out at Birmingham City, and Joao Pedro was joined Chelsea, and he is a new Chelsea player. Valentino Bacco, who has been loaned out at Strasbourg, of course, he will be part and parcel of the Strasbourg in French Ligue 1. Olivia Bascagli, of course, has been bought, of course, ameingia Brighton from PSV Eindhoven, and Odell Ofia has been bought by Preston North End from Brighton, of course. Mario Dubarry joined Bolton Wanderers on a loan, and Maxime de Coupe joins Brighton, of course, from Club Brugge. This is a Belgian side. He's from a Belgian side joining English side Brighton, of course. And then Mark O'Mahony joins Reading on a loan from Brighton. So that is it from Brighton, of course. And we move on to the second last team. Now we'll be having Brentford. Remember, there is a number of transfer rumors here and there, including Bram Beumo and Wissa. Of course, they are good players who've scored 10 plus goals for Brentford, helping Brentford to be among the most improved team in the previous season, that 2024-2025, and there are a good number of players that have been released, and of course others have joined Brentford from other team. Ben Mee has been released, and he will not be part and parcel of the Brentford side, and of course Michael Kayode has joined Brentford from Fiorentina. Ben Winterbottom has been released and has joined Barrow, and then Rommel Donovan has joined Brentford from Birmingham City. Koeman Keller has joined Brentford from Liverpool, of course, successful, I had told you. And of course, Mark Flecken has also been transferred out to join Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, that is a Bundesliga side. Tony Yogan has been loaned out at Dundee, and of course, Anthony Milambo has joined Brentford from Feyenoord, and we are waiting to see who is the next player to be released from Brentford. Last but not least, of course, FC Bournemouth are the second last team we are going to deal with this evening. But before we go first, niacha nione basi unasemaje upande wa pili, basi ni nani ambaye atakuwa, who is going to win the first semi-final and who will be joining the first Club World Cup final this evening. Whom do you expect? Musa Kungu anasemaje? Even if Arsenal sign Messi and Ronaldo, no one will save them. No Premier League, no Premier League, no Champions League, no Champions League, of course. Asema no Premier League, no Champions League, and poor, no top 4. GYOKERES is just a Swedish Olunga. That is it from Musa Akungu. Anasema kwamba even if they sign Messi or Ronaldo, nobody is here to help them. These players we're just seeing are just meant to pass. They have no they have no Champions League, they have no major trophies. And that is it from Musa Akungu, who is always one of us when it comes to political matters. And of course, our FC Bournemouth are also busy. FC Bournemouth are also busy, having let some players go back to their mother club. That I talk of Kepa Arrizabalaga. They're also busy to make sure that they are reshaping and shaping their squad as they prepare for the 2025-2026. I'm sorry. FC Bournemouth are having it with Eli Junior Krupi joining them from Lorient, of course, and Dean Hodgson. He also has been sold, of course. They have sold, of course, he joined Real Madrid, Dean Higginson joined Real Madrid, of course, at £50 million. And of course, Jadon Anthony joined Burnley, successfully. He's a Burnley player. Kepa Arrizabalaga went back to Chelsea and is now an Arsenal player, having been sold by Chelsea. Kepa Arrizabalaga has been very key player when it came to Bournemouth, of course, being a threat in the previous season. And of course, Andrea Truffet has joined Bournemouth from Rennes, and he will be a new project at Bournemouth. And Daniel Jebison has been loaned out at Preston North. And of course, Marcus Aarons has been also loaned out at Rangers. And Milos Kakis has joined Liverpool successfully. And Joe Rothwell joined Rangers. So that is it from Bournemouth, managing just to get 2 players and loaning out others, and of course selling others. And of course, Aston Villa, the team that too bad they did not qualify to win to win a top 4 out of a Champions League spot. They're also busy shaping their squad and making sure that Mr. Good Evening is having it easy, and a very successful season when it comes to 2025-2026. They have managed to get rid of some of the players, and of course, Yasin Uzkan joins them from Kasim Paz, of course. He's a new Aston Villa player. Robin Olsen has been released to and joined and has successfully joined Malmo. Josh Finney has joined Huddersfield, but I believe he will be a new loanee from Aston Villa. That is Josh Feni, who joins Housefield on a loan. Rico Richards joins Port Vale on a permanent transfer. Of course, Courtney Hose has been released from Aston Villa. Marcus Rashford, who's loan at Villa Park, has already his own end, went back to Manchester United. Of course, Marcus Rashford, and he will be expected to getting a new home. He's not likely to stay at Manchester United, of course, with Barcelona interested in his services. So he went back at Manchester United. Marco Asensio, whose loan ended and went back to Paris Saint-Germain, who are the Champions League winners. Axel Disasi, whose loan also came to an end, and he's back at Chelsea. Hesler Hayden, who's been sold to Coventry, of course. And of course, Redmond has been bought from Feyenoord. And Felipe Coutinho, who is a former Barcelona Liverpool player, has successfully joined Vasco da Gama, and he will be a new project at Vasco da Gama, a team that participates in Brazilian League. So, and of course, wacha tumalizie hizi transfer za leo hii jioni, mtazamaji, with some good look at what is happening at Arsenal. Remember, Arsenal are also trying to reshape and plan their season. Remember, for the previous 2 to 3 seasons, they have been finishing in position number 2, a position that has no trophy, and they are expected to make some good transfers. Of course, every season, each and every time, Arteta has been reluctant to getting a goal-scoring machine, and there are a good number of players being linked to them. Talk of Victor Gyökeres, who is expected, maybe having had his personal terms agreed with Arsenal, he is expected to be the next goal-scoring machine. Arsenal have been missing on a key goal, a goal scoring machine, of course, after the last man, I think, was Aubameyang. Toke, Arsenal have not had a good replacement of a number 9 or a good goal scorer. And of course, Victor Gyökeres, we are yet to see kama atakuwa successful or he will just be like any other player when he joins Arsenal. And of course, Jorginho has been released and he has joined Flamengo, a club that participates in a Brazilian league. Of course, he will be a new player, former Chelsea and former Arsenal. And former Napoli, of course, is now going to Flamengo. And of course, Nathan Butler, of course, he has been released from the Arsenal side. Ilian Kweseda Thorne, of course, has been released from the squad. Of course, najua baadhi ya wachezaji hao hatuwajui because they are not maybe much exposed when it comes to the Arsenal squad. And of course, we have Kieran Tierney, who was released from the Arsenal side and he has successfully joined Celtic. Remember, he had an injury, and of course, while he's coming back, he terminated his contract with Arsenal and he's a new Celtic player. So that is it. Raheem Sterling, whose loan came to an end, and he's back at Chelsea. Neto has also been taken back to Bournemouth on a loan, of course. And Nuno Tavares has joined Lazio on a permanent deal. Marquinhos joins Cruzeiro on a permanent deal, of course. And Kepa Arrizabalaga has been successfully bought from Chelsea. Takehiro Tomiyasu has been released from the Arsenal side, and Martin Zubimendi has joined Real Sociedad has joined Arsenal, of course, from Real Sociedad. So those are the already confirmed players that Arsenal have already bought, and we are waiting to see which other players, including Victor Gyökeres, who is highly on the watch, tuone kama atakuwa na later that the profile of a high goal scoring person, ama basi itakuwa ni mchezo wa town kwamba each and every season Arsenal wanalia striker. We are waiting to see, and let us hope they are going to secure the services of Victor Gyökeres. Anaitwa kwamba anaitwa Buge Lot, anasema kwamba Gunners from Tanzania. Asante sana Buge Lot kwa kuweza kuungana nasi. Mtazamaji, tell me in the comment section, niambie kwamba basi unaona nani ambaye atakuwa anatinga kwenye finali jioni hii leo kati ya Chelsea wakicheza na Fluminense. Nani atakuwa anaingia kwenye finali, na iwapo basi uwezekano wa Victor Gyökeres kujiunga kwenye klabu, ama Victor Gyökeres, will he be able to join Arsenal? And of course, when he joins Arsenal, we'll see some of other players. Talk of Gabriel Jesus, who's maybe expected to come back from an injury he got 3 or 4 months ago. He will be expected to come back. Is he going to survive at Arsenal under Victor Gyökeres, or Arsenal are just going to make some other mistakes and fail to win an opportunity when it comes to this high scoring player or high scoring goal player? And of course, we are waiting to see. So tell me in the comment section. Remember, this evening Chelsea wanavana moja kwa moja with the Brazilian side, that is Fluminense, and many are waiting to see if Chelsea will make it. Remember, in each and every stage, kila stage ambayo labda imekuwa ikishindwa, ama each and every team from the group stages to the knockout stages to the quarter final and now to the semi final, there is a certain amount of money that each and every team has been waiting, and that we are waiting to see. The more you advance, the more the amount of money keeps on rising. So that is it from the transfer side, of course. And among the transfer rumors that are yet to be confirmed, of course, is Bryan Mbeumo joining Manchester United, because it has been a top priority for Manchester United, and we are waiting to see if the official bid will be made by Manchester United to Brentford. And if at all, Bryan Mbeumo, who's ready and of course has given a green light to joining Manchester United. We are waiting to see if the transfer will be successful, and if at all will be successful, wacha tuone ni nani ambaye atakuwa anatoka. But for the Manchester United squad, players that who are expected to be out, of course, Jadon Sancho has made it clear that he wants to leave, of course, with the Juventus being the likely the next destination for him. And of course, Marcus Rashford, of course, he is not expected to stay there. Bayern Munich are watching the situation. Barcelona are also watching the situation. Of course, I don't know. Mason Mount are going to he's going to remain there, and of course, one and only Onana, he's likely to remain the number one priority goalkeeper for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is going to remain the captain. Of course, Chelsea has some other unfinished business. Of course, we are waiting to see if Madueke will be joining Arsenal, or Nicholas Jackson will also be joining Arsenal. Remember, there are two good players that are linked with Arsenal after Kepa Arrizabalaga has joined them. Remember, Madueke has had his personal term with Arsenal agreed, and we are waiting to see kama basi atakuwa anajiunga na timu ya Arsenal. Mohamed Kudus from West Ham is the next man to watch, because his likely destination is either Chelsea or Tottenham, because he is not expected to stay at West Ham for the 2025-2026, and we are waiting to see his next home. So that is it for Barcelona. Maybe they're just waiting to give naitwa Lamine Yamal a shirt album, jersey number 10, and is going to be taken from Ansu Fati, who joined Napoli on a season-long loan, and he'll be joining the likes of Paul Pogba, who's also Monaco player on a 2-year contract. So Yamal is the next biggest thing to watch when it comes to Barcelona, because the jersey or the shirt number 10 has a big history when it comes to Barcelona, with the likes of Lionel Messi being the goats of that jersey. Real Madrid, they've managed to get Hutchinson from Bournemouth, of course, and he's amongst the top defensive central defenders who are expected to boost their defense or their backline in 2025-2026. So that is it in the transfer world, of course, in the EPL, and we are waiting to see later on what is going to happen. Different teams, different coaches being transferred from here and there, and we here courtesy of Mofo TV and On Goal Show to inform you which transfer is happening and which one is not going to happen. That is it. Naomba nilikunje jamvi kwa jioni ya leo. Kumbuka kwamba mchezo ambao labda huenda tu ukaupata kupitia chaneli ya Mofo TV, iwe basi mtandao wa Facebook, ni kati ya mchezo kati ya Chelsea wakicheza dhidi ya timu ya Fluminense kutoka katika taifa la Brazil kwenye michezo ambayo inaendelea ya Club World Cup. So stay tuned here at Mofo TV. Remember to subscribe, share the link if you haven't subscribed. Welcome your friend, tell them that Mofo TV is your passport to adventure. From the team, naomba basi tuweze kuondoka. Remember, ama kumbuka siku zote Mofo TV hapa ndipo nyumbani. Nyuma kamera na producer wa kipindi ni Silas Aboge, ambaye amewezesha mimi nawe kuweza kupatana, na pia amewezesha picha safi unazoziona kwenye screen yako. Upande wa pili pia kikosi kizima chini ya uangalizi wa bwana Morris ambaye ndiye managing director, akiwemo Julius Jesse. Tutakuwa tunarejea kwenye kipindi kingine siku ya kesho. Kipindi cha siasa cha Political Temperature kitakuwa kinang'oa nanga. Baada ya break kidogo, tutakuwa tunarejea mtazamaji. Kutoka kwangu Vincent Okinda, captain wa kipindi cha The On Goal Show, hadi siku ya kesho, Mola awe nawe. Zidi kuachia ujumbe mfupi hapo, kati ya Chelsea na Fluminense, nani atakuwa anaingia kwenye finali ya Club World Cup. Awe nawe Mwenyezi Mungu, tuzidi kuombeana.